All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are in Primetime Tuesday 11. This will be the first time in PTT history that a team will win that is not me or Bells. I had to say it, but instead we're on the casting desk for this monumental occasion where we will see a new champion crowned. And the semifinals match we're going to be watching is between two teams that are honestly probably the favorites to do it other than Finesse, which is Los Rancheros, the BFF champions of Kienoob, Goomy, and Threezy, versus Chikara Chatting, the premier upstart team that has been taking names, most recently won Play Better Win More Tuesday last week of EvilDrewDanger, Lyarri, and AppaBug. The story of the North American competitive scene is revolving around that team and how many names they can truly take down. Bells and or Alley, who is your winner if you had to be asked to predict the outcome of today's match?
Honestly, I mean, every time I watch these two teams go head to head or anything like similar to them, it's always a very, very close game. But it seems like when it comes down to the wire in these kind of tournaments, it's always Chikara chatting that comes
Real.
out on top.
Real. It's so weird too. These players, other than Lyarri, had almost zero competitive experience or success a month ago around this time today. They formed to qualify for NASL after Drew was a free agent, took quals by storm, and has absolutely dominated every single weekly tournament they've entered. They have not placed lower than third in their last 5 or 6 tournaments, placing first and second in the majority of them. And by comparison, the team that they're up against, Los Rancheros, only forms for Big Fish Fridays, hosted by Dale and Surplus. Shout out to the GOAT. And that team is no stranger to championships. They've won multiple weeklies, and they have 3 players known for their performance in the West Coast leagues. So a bit of a clash of styles going to be coming out here between the two teams. We'll be pointing out as we go the differences in execution and strategy between Chatting, a team known for their ability to push the ball up defensively to AppaBug to score, versus Rancheros, a team known for their aggressive, almost blitzkrieg style, where Goomy, Kienoob, and Threezy will be playing a Phil Jackson, if you will, triangle-esque strategy. So we'll have two teams with completely different approaches to the game. Should be interesting to watch. And once we load into this game, we will see it play out soon. I'm hoping we get Obscura calls. I know we were talking about it before the game started, but my favorite map to watch and play right now, please no Inkies. That's all I have to say
Yeah,
about that.
please. It's a 30% chance, but it's fine. Yeah, but these two teams definitely have like pretty much the opposite play style. So I always like watching these kind of games where one team is like fully offensive and the other team is kind of just trying to hold it down and get as much value as they can.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, even though I don't feel like we play similarly to them, as a team, if you and I were playing, I would compare us more to Chikara Chatting, where they play a lot similarly towards that. Let the brawler cook in the front, and let's try to make sure we hold it down the back, which is interesting because we just rolled Amy's Application, a map known for midfielders defaulting to Erasmus. Teams either choose to just ban it to not deal with it, or they'll choose to mirror it. It is a staple of the map. I would expect the side of Los Rancheros to ban DrewDanger's signature Atlas, while the other side chooses to take out
And Luna.
Luna, which is a character that Los Rancheros sometimes plays. Threezy opts to pick it himself, and I know that Kienoob has one, but it looks like they'd rather just not deal with it. It's a common ban coming out from the side of Chikara Chatting. It's not a character they like to play against. And we see the Rasmus Juliet double mirror and that offensive versus defensive style that we emphasized in the pregame. We see the Amy versus the Dubu. How does that really play off for kickoff at Bells?
I think kickoff, it's mostly about just Gumi going fully offensive. Either he chooses to do a lot of damage or he chooses to play for more coin control. So I guess we'll just see how he chooses to do it. But overall, I think the team with Amy should always win kickoff because she has a lot more range.
Yep, we see that happen just there. The big fish start, or sorry, built difference start, increasing the damage that Goomy's able to do off of kickoff, but a misposition off of the Rasmus is going to result in a barrier, but is traded with a kill. The 1v2 situation in the net is able to be pushed out, AppaBug coming back to help, but ThreezyBreezy is able to find the goal off the corner bumper. That is a signature Juliet setup, something I've seen you do, Bells, a million times, so...
Honestly, now that I see the trainings, I wonder what made Chikara chatting choose to ban Luna on their team, because I don't know how threatening I would see Luna in this case scenario. If anything, I'd rather ban Amy against this team, since
I
especially
agree.
since Gumi's been practicing it a lot. And if I recall anything about Gumi's Luna, I mean, I would much prefer him on that pick than Amy.
That is so real. Gummy's Luna, known for its, let's say, coin flip-esque approach to the game, but not coin flip, a core flip coming out from Goomy there on this Amy. Make sure that he pays back the goal gate being taken with Lyarri's life. A double kill from Goomy as well. Let's see if DrewDanger can hold down 1v3.
I mean,
Known
this is
for
where
his
he
defensive play.
thrives.
Yeah, he always manages to do it, which ThreezyBreezy sneaks in as Lyarri comes back, but they've stabilized. Both Rasmuses missing their hooks means that there's not going to be any pressure on the red side with a KO being equalized. Goomy is going to have a lot of work cut out for him because he does not have that turret for defense. Nice core control coming out from Kienoob means that the ball is just going to slip through. I thought for sure that it was a safe goal, but the weakness of Amy coming out with an excellent, honestly, very, very pixel perfect punch from AppaBug.
Yeah, AppaBug really found that nice angle. Plus, with the help of Built Diff, which is Juliet's best training by far, he's able to get a lot of nice opportunities.
Hey, nice opportunity equals the nice goal, as you say it.
As we said before, I mean, Los Rancheros is known for just completely trying to speedrun all their points. They kind of almost run out of steam after a certain amount of time, but it just comes down to whether Chikara Chatting is going to be able to actually hold their own until they get to that point, which doesn't look like they're
awful. An insane kill coming out from the Rasmus means that this is a almost goal, but Lyarri does an excellent job stalling. It's going to be challenging with two flips coming out. There's no way to hold that. The double brawler Built Diff is so challenging to deal with as S.A.D.B.O.I.S. There's really almost nothing he could do, even if he had elusive that was going in. The draft coming out from Rasmus first is spelling a nightmare for the side of chatting. Thankfully for them, Rasmus does not get any hook trainings. What is this draft going to look like in the later stages? We'll have to see.
He will pick up a energy training, I'm assuming, unless he decides to go for bulk up, which honestly I respect, because power and having more knockback on Rasmus on this map, as much as I hate it, it's the way to go, because as Rasmus, you pretty much just sit in the midfield and wait for your opportunities to be able to hook people into the middle.
Yep. We're going to also see the increased power. The double brawlers, they have to fight, but Amy can help confirm kills way more than the S.A.D.B.O.I.S can. So it's going to lead to an overall net advantage in stagger, which is all this game comes out to. Hey, the power you mentioned, coming in right there, kill after kill, build different start is something different. Nice hold on the Amy turret as well. It's going to look like, unless Kienoob helps out, which he does, that was looking like a goal for the side of Chikara Chatting. Goomy playing up offensively, kill after kill. It feels like both of these brawlers are always trading kills, and Appa gets the goal as well. Looking like a goal coming up soon, unless ThreezyBreezy can play surrogate midfield. Doesn't happen.
Nice angle coming from Appa there.
I agree.
Right through the size extended Amy dash. That was very nice to play.
I think Appa, generally regarded as the player on this team that needs the most improvement, but I mean, maybe it's coming through here because we just watched two really, really nice angles and an uncharacteristic mistake coming out of Lyarri and DrewDanger. Lyarri clearing it straight into the barrier resulted in an easy pickup for ThreezyBreezy. Not something I'm used to seeing on the defensive side from chatting, not what they're usually known for, but hey, you take what you can get in comp. Hey, a goal's a goal. Doesn't matter how you score it.
It's definitely much harder for EvilDrewDanger to defend against two built different brawlers.
The size difference and the damage difference, right? Like, it's just too much.
Especially since with built diff or any size training, Rasmus almost becomes a ranged character because of how much the size just it increases his ability to hit from range.
That's so true. ThreezyBreezy looking for the barrier there, doesn't exactly get it. A core flip into Appa. This could be a goal. Yes, good call, by the way. I love the fact. Yeah, that Appa, he did not have his. Either he didn't have dash punch available or was too nervous about getting staggered, so he took the 50-50 strike war with Rasmus because if he won it, Goomy wasn't able to react. It's a tough situation to be put in as a goalie, not knowing if your forward's going to be able to win the strike war, which is something that we're seeing both of these forwards on the side of chatting do nicely. A Kienoob equalizer hook trading Lyarri's life for the barrier. Also on this map, meaning that EvilDrewDanger is out and instantly dies.
Wow.
Wow.
EvilDrewDanger not very aware of his position there, and especially with Kienoob's core flip, he just walks straight into the middle and dies, losing all his stacks.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we like to make the joke of goalies or forwards in the net, but maybe sometimes goalie out of the net is
maybe we should start making fun of goalies playing forward, because
how real is that? I think one of the goalies that's doing it well though is Goomy. A lot of times that, like right there, that offensive pressure gets him the barrier for his teammates. He's gonna have flips, so you're gonna see him walk up here on the top side. Nice save coming out. He can eject back and get hooked instantly. And all of a sudden, what looked like a guaranteed chatting point
play about to happen.
Yeah, that is crazy. Can Threezy hold it down? Hold Threezy!
Hold Threezy! Oh, he's not able to hold.
Enough.
But good enough. His team's up now. Will they be able to hold? No, they won't.
Nice hook from Lyarri. That's the built diff right there. It works for both teams. The offensive pressure for every team really can be swung on a pendulum.
And if AppaBug is able to get another size training, which he's not, but he'll probably be able to pick up Stagger Swagger here, or he chooses to Primetime. But how are you talking about the Primetime nerfs, by the way? Because we're going to see it drop farther than it would be in normal drafts and previous patches. Yeah, so Primetime is actually like actively harmful to Juliet specifically because of her dash punch not being able to kill as easy anymore. So honestly, I would almost always opt out of taking Primetime. As for the other characters, this is definitely one of the best nerfs they've ever done in like the history of this game. I really like what they did to Primetime because it's a lot less desirable, I will say, on many characters.
Okay. Something that is a lot less desirable also is our ability to play around the Rasmus hooks this game. We are instantly forced into a difficult position as chatting. You see the power of the Amy turret coming through there. It's just so hard to play against. Like, I'm not even kidding. Nice, bro. Wow. Hook on hook. It's just, this Amy is able to keep the ball even if their forwards are dying. I want you, if you're in the chat, just see how many times that Goomy is going to blink forward on Amy. The cooldown with eject button is making that offensive pressure helpful so much because you can see the lack of core control that these brawlers have. Rasmus gets another hook, forces the 3v2. Walking up, the blink forces Lyarri into the corner and gets a confirmed KO. Nice job. Now 3v1, not as many abilities. They'll have to split the defense to make sure they force it through, or Threezy can just stun lock him. Yeah. You can never go wrong with some classic hit stun to get a goal against any goalie in the game, even if you don't have abilities on your midfielder on the Rasmus there. So
it almost looked like Drew there. He didn't expect the core to be stunned for that long, and he just missed his strike. I think he would have been able to save it.
Yeah, that's a good call. The Jubu wall coming out offensively, one of the first times I've seen it happen. Drew, waddle up there, young man. Flips the ball off of the circle. Nice way to try to get a creative angle. Doesn't really result in anything. He will fall because of Rasmus' secondary. Such a tricky ability to time. And again, the hooks coming out from Kienoob this game. It just feels like the Rasmus is finding more conversions on the side of Los Rancheros, which is the name of the game on Amy's app in this top-level play. It's just, if your Rasmus converts more, playing 2v3 as a goalie in this map is so difficult because you're so reliant on your forwards to help you clear the ball.
Yeah, I will say though, I personally think playing a lot of Rasmus that Monumentalist is his best training on this map, just because of how big it makes his hook. It just makes it so much harder for the enemy team to like proactively keep in mind the range they're allowed to play in. So that's why we see Kienoob making so many more hook kills now that he is Monumentalist.
True. And the problem with that too is the fact that chatting, if they die like there, it's so much more challenging to abuse the weakness of Amy, which is her low defensive skill set. Nice clears coming out from Goomy though, speaking of that, but we noticed he had to use his core flip to do it, showing the weakness of the character. AppaBug's positioning for an easy goal. Goomy spaces it well through the built different, passes it back up to Threezy, but Jubu's so much more adept at holding 1v1 than an Amy is. Uses log to deny flip and gets his flip off of it, but Juliet's most useful ability for denying core flips. Ult comes out and absolutely stuffs it. There was literally no time for Drew to clear it. A 3-0 set.
The only
means that
time
this
he-
could
he-
snowball to control.
The only time he could have actually cleared it there was like after the little flurry of the Julie ult. There's a small time that you can hit it between the light hits and the heavy hit, but Drew wasn't able to find it.
I like Kienoob not opting for big fish here because Primetime is a useful pickup. Denying the Primetime rapid fire from Rasmus, or I said rapid fire, you know what I mean. And then it lets Julie gets either Egoist or Catalyst or Big Fish. Man, trainings are hard, but ThreezyBreezy already has one energy training. Dubu has to deny him the second, which lets Julie gets a double size, which could mean she's about to take over the map.
Yeah, this makes it very, very hard to defend against Juliet.
We see the wall coming out early. I like this decision from Chatting, trying to push the momentum. As soon as the ball gets on their side, it gets so much harder. And when you're in front, like Lyarri's here, makes it so much easier to get more shots on goal. Nice pass from Lyarri. Strike warring. Goomy's able to clear it. Oh! Almost gets the barrier as well. But an unlucky bounce. Drew, good clear as well, denying the dash punch goal from ThreezyBreezy. Some strikes going back and forth here. We're going to see if this actually amounts to anything. The core flip to core flip signature play coming out when you have both forwards having flip, and there's not much an Amy can do versus that. Now, I'm not sure if there's hooks up, but there's no meter or energy from the side of Chatting, so they have to be really careful as they play offensively. But instead, Lyarri is able to find a ThreezyBreezy with full energy meter there, greeting for a flip, not able to get it. Drew with more offensive pressure. This looks like a completely different play style than we've seen in the last set. The adaptations coming out is fantastic. Kills after kills coming through. Drew's looking to flip it up to his forwards. ThreezyBreezy attempts to stall with the ult, but it's going to go in unless Goomy can dig it out again, which he does. Flip that ball, young man. Good pass.
So much pressure, but Goomy was doing a very good job of clearing it every single time, but they just kept going and going and going until AppaBug was able to finally confirm a goal.
And that's the thing on this map. You don't need to get good shots. You just need to get up a good volume of shots. There's only so many times a goalie can clear against double built diff brawler on this map. And I love the aggressive play that came out from Chatting that forced the ball into their side. An excellent clear from Goomy. Can't get it twice. And EvilDrewDanger, dance. Dance, young man, dance. He's flying, drops the wall down, doesn't amount to anything, but stalls out a core flip, and Opp is just going to need to try to stay alive while Lyarri comes back. I love his positioning here. Oh!
Wow, AppaBug finding the score through 3 people there.
Yeah. I think that Goomy expected Rasmus to win the strike war, but didn't, which is a similar goal to earlier in the set. And now we're going to go straight into draft for set 5.5. This is a best of 1, by the way, so whichever team wins the whole thing. There's a lot of BIS here, so I need to see how this pans out.
I'm not sure if... Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I'm not sure if Lyarri will opt to go extra special or missile prop here, but she definitely should go extra special because then Amy's forced to go Deadeye, which is still not bad, but extra special would have been very detrimental to the enemy team.
I think what I like about this draft too is we see so much BIS coming out. I love when both teams get trainings that are good for them, especially EvilDrewDanger's missile prop. He's going to look to ult early here and keep the ball on their side. Appa's already dead, though.
And Lyarri is looking like she's about to join him.
Yeah, where did the stagger go? Drew's starting to dance, though. Those 10 dancer stacks are going to help him keep the ball up more forward. And Lyarri finds a sneaky kill on the back foot. It's hard to remember that when you have the striker advantage, you can still die. I've DC'd. Or everyone's lagging? Sorry, my bad. That's a you thing, not a me thing. EvilDrewDanger's back in, though. We'll have to see what happens here.
I mean, Chikara Challenge is showing why they're such a, actually a feared contestant now. I mean, like we said, these games always go very close, and we're on set 5, so maybe we will see us at 5.5 this game, but it's looking like Chikara Challenge having some, huge momentum this game, so I guess we're gonna see how that goes.
Gotcha. Nice wall coming out from Drew. Able to stop the push on the bot side, but it floats up top and they're still able to find a commitment. The hook coming out means that there's a 3v2 about to happen. Make that a 3v1. EvilDrewDanger's going to hold. I've seen this a million times. He's got the flip. He's got the wherewithal. And he almost had the barrier 1v3, but not quite.
Oh, the State Farm Steppy roll coming out from EvilDrewDanger. Very unexpected. He's one of the best users of that role, and I mean that was just uncharacteristic out of him.
No, we finally got the opportunity to say the State Farm Steppy roll in the pivotal moment. If he had been able to hold that, that truly would have been an excellent play. Challenging to hold, and he's going to have to do it again because his forwards are dropping like flies,
Now he is
including
too.
him.
And he loses all his stacks. It's not looking too good for Chikara chatting right now.
Chatting managed to bring it all the way back, but if they can't stop dying at the start, there's no hope. Especially in this kind of triple melee composition they have.
Yeah.
If they're down a man, there's no hope of core control. And we're going to see if they can actually figure out a way to get the ball to AppaBug. He's gotten safely to the other side, which has been a big problem. Usually he's been getting hooked as he's walking over. Trades abilities with the Rasmus. Lyarri finally finds a hook of her own. This might go to a 0.5 here if they play their cards right. Drew can't find a clear and Kienoob 1v2s through the
just
barrier.
1v2ing over and over again.
That is huge. If Amy can find a way to get the ball on their side with turret, that's game over. The Brawlers are now stacked up on the same side, forcing the turret out defensively. Good for the chance of chatting, but they sneak it through. They just sneak it through. ThreezyBreezy, that was a great play. The dash punch out of nowhere. I don't think anyone on the side of chatting expected it. So we're going to see Los Rancheros as one of our grand finalists on a close game.
It was a very close game. And Los Rancheros, I mean, that was pretty much an upset in my book.
Honestly, yeah, it was. I'll say it. Chatting has been pretty much consistently making it to finals every single week. I'll call it an upset. I'm down. And honestly, if you beat EvilDrewDanger when he's got his orbs stacked up, that's a definite upset in my book. That guy is Dr. Orbius. He had his dancer stacks that game. It wasn't enough. We see in the KOs, it was 23 KOs to 13. And it's not too hard to piece together what was the clinching factor in that match when you look at the KO difference. Not even necessarily the damage difference, even though the difference that the Amy made in damage obviously was impactful. It's really coming down to the dash punches and the Rasmus KOs being too difficult for the side of chatting to circumvent, despite DrewDanger having a nice stat line and holding it down in the back 2v3. Well, Allie, what are you thinking about going into finals? Who do you think on the other side of the bracket is going to meet those guys there? We have a matchup between Finesse and maybe surprisingly to some, Core Overflow will not be there. They were upset by the team Solo Q is Fun, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is Coach Yoki making his launch debut on goalie. Dathgrass and Mloom.
That is
pulling
definitely
up a huge upset. Huge upset.
Yeah, that is definitely not the team I would have expected there. But as much as it would be cool for Ranked as Fun here to win against Finesse, I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think Finesse is way too strong right now. Even though they're still getting acclimated with their new goalie Lilybun.
I think if they can beat Cal, they can beat Finesse. We'll have to see what happens. We'll be right back. We'll actually be streaming that match as well, so don't go anywhere. You may be seeing the greatest Cinderella story in OS history for the North American scene at the very least. So make sure you tune back in. We'll be right back watching Solo Q is Fun try to make their second huge upset of the bracket. See you soon.